calm,
Right?
under pressure.
Right, she's so calm. Yeah, she is so calm.
All right, everybody. I went ahead and started the live feed. So we are live on YouTube, and I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I just got a notification that we're like, hey, it works. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 5:38 p.m. And we'll start out with the calendar of events. Let me go ahead and share the screen on that. My calendar won't share. So obviously tonight we have the Board of Directors meeting. On Thursday, October 15th, there's a committee to investigate paralegal regulation online meeting. The 22nd through the 25th is the 2020 NFPA annual convention. And then going into November, we have our virtual fall education conference on the 4th and 5th. Then we also have a Board of Directors meeting on Wednesday, the 11th, which is the following Wednesday. And then there is a PI, Workman's Comp and Med-Mal section meeting on the 17th. Is there anything else that is not on the calendar of events that is worth mentioning? All righty. For those of you who are committee members or chair people, Jen and I are going to be working on picking a new date for the meeting that we have with all of us, our quarterly meeting. It happened to be scheduled for the day of the education conference, and that's not going to work. So her and I will work on something, and we'll get something over for that. Treasurer's report. Liana, do you want to go ahead and?
Well, Yvonne has attached the information within the agenda. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise them or reach out with any questions directly.
Okay. Yvonne, do you want to go ahead with the executive director's report?
Not too much to report other than the education conference, which is scaring the crap out of me. Just so you know, still have no clue how to get all the seminars going, but yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have all went to the website to register, or at least to look at it and see how it looks.
I've looked at it.
You've done a great job.
I did open up sponsorships. I came up with some ideas of how we could get money from sponsors. They pay $100 to sponsor a session, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So far we have, I believe, 8. And that includes also, there's a login page, and when you go to the login page, there's an opportunity where I can create something where their logos are. So I'm charging $250 for that, and I got both of those. There's 2 of them, got both of those sponsored. I'm hoping to get, at least 15 sessions sponsored. Loyola wants to do one, I think. So for $100, they also get to log into the platform while everybody's on there. You can start a chat. You can start a chat group. You can start a video chat with up to 5 people. We could do a video chat with up to 25 people, but that costs more. But I think video chat with 5 people, we could do people can do something with it. So it's definitely worth the money. And that's what I'm gonna go on mute and start getting the sponsors' logos up on the site.
Wait
So
a minute, how many
Ivana-
sponsors did you say you
Go
needed?
ahead.
Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 spots sold. And I'm looking, and there's 20 sessions.
Okay.
Well, there's 21 if you count there's 22 if you count the RBG, which is US Legal is a sponsor, and the cocktail hour, which would make it 22. So there's actually 20, but US Legal's all by themselves. So there's 21 spots to sell.
Okay.
So yes, if you have, I sent it to the typicals. We've got Aon, Legal E-File is sponsoring 3, Aon sponsoring 1, CSC is sponsoring their own. I believe CT is going to sponsor their own. We've got Capital Lien, Records Imaging, who's sponsoring 2. And like I said, Legal E-File is sponsoring 3. And I believe Loyal is going to sponsor 1. So, no, wait, Marie Harrigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loyola. I think she's going to sponsor 1, and I think there's 1 more that I've got. So if you know anybody who would be interested, especially if you see, like if they're a speaker, or if they're the speaker, like Magna, if anybody has any ins with Magna, to see if they'd be interested in sponsoring their own session.
I'll reach out to them.
Yeah, and NV5, I'm not exactly sure what they are. But anyway, it's just another way for us to make a little bit of extra money. So that's
So
it.
Yvonne, I was wondering something. You
Mhm.
mentioned that you're concerned about how it's all going to fly when it comes the day of the conference. Is there a way that we can perhaps set up some kind of practice? Doesn't mean
We're going to
there's
talk about that a little bit later, Helen.
good.
Yeah, we have to set up a practice for sure. And and then what happens, like when there's 3 different sessions running at a time, I have to, or somebody has to start each one of them. Obviously, I can't start all 3 at once. So I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to see if I can get somebody to sit here with me all day long for 2 days and sit on one computer and start one while I start another. So there's also the opportunity that the speakers, and it could actually work a little easier, where the speakers pre-record, and we either put the recording in the website, and they live Q&A, or they're live and they're in what they actually play, instead of playing a PowerPoint, they play their recording and they can live Q&A. So there's other options, but that's all the stuff I'm still trying to figure out and communicate with the speakers, and it's a really complicated platform that I've had to watch a lot of videos to try and learn, and I haven't learned it. Not all of it. Today I watched a video on how to get the Zoom materials into the website. So that's what, so I think I got that down. So now I want to set up a trial run with 3 different speakers running at the same time, and have speakers as trial, facilitators as trial, and attendees as trial. So I want to get some people on that'll help do that one day, maybe over the weekend, if people can't do it at night or on the lunch hour.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that more later.
Yeah. Okay. And who do we have on the phone?
Hello,
Hi, I thought that was you, Chris.
it is. Sorry to be late.
That is okay. Just changing your name on here so we know where you're at.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and move on to the NFPA report.
Okay. The NFPA, the last NFPA meeting, I have summer board meeting on here, but the last meeting was September 15th. The high level items from the meeting were Isaiah Allen is the new NFPA's executive director. He's replacing Dara Ruddick. The Futures Task Force had its last meeting, like a town hall meeting, on September 29th with the delegates just to wrap up the things, the planning that they discussed during the town hall meetings this summer, and any outstanding questions that anyone had regarding the bylaws. The diversity and inclusion and equity position statement was updated and approved by the board, and it is available on the NFPA's website under the positions and issues tab. The membership committee has started reaching out to associations to address different membership issues such as declining memberships, ways to remotely engage members during COVID, and strengthening local associations and overall membership. Not sure if Tom reached out to us yet, but they're supposed to be getting around to all of the associations just to offer whatever help they can with membership. The Paralegal Certification Committee and the Assurance of Learning staff, which falls under that committee, is drafting an educator release agreement, which would allow paralegal educators to use NFPA study manuals that NFPA used for the PACE and PCC exam. The certification committee also have a list of vacant positions. They are listed on my report. And if you're interested in any of those positions, please contact Linda Odermatt for more information. The board voted to amend the PACE exam scores. Now, I'm not quite sure how this works. I'm not sure what this raw score is, but the passing score will remain at 550. But the weight metrics used for the raw scoring has been amended, and the new raw score is 127. I haven't really gotten a clarity of what that really means and how that is for passing, but whomever this affected that has taken the test during this whole COVID period, they have been contacted and their scores have been adjusted. The cancellation fee that Prometric put in place during the COVID, it's now being reinstated. So whatever the procedures were for canceling, they're back into effect, and that is, you can reach out to someone on the board for that. And the decision of the Washington State Supreme Court that sunsetted the LLT program, that's being appealed, and the president of the LLT program is hopeful that they'll reinstate that. So I'll let you guys know when I get more information on that. And that is it. Any questions?
Always helps if I unmute myself. There was an agenda topic that did go out to the board members. Deandra, you will probably want, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, the agenda topic is the approval of the
Oh,
committee.
that is the eligibility for the paralegal programs.
The LLT program for attorneys and licensed legal technicians to be credentialed through NFPA, through the PACE or RP. They're looking for the delegates to approve that. And I don't know if you guys had time to read it. If you have any opinions on whether you agree with that or not, just let me know. I am, of course, in agreement with it. I don't see anything wrong with it because it will definitely get the credentialing program out there to a wider range of people, so that could be useful in the long run.
I kind of read through it, and to be honest with you, if somebody wants to use the PACE exam or the PCCE exam as their standard, I don't really see a problem in allowing that to happen. I don't think there's any real conflict with it.
It doesn't look like it. And these are legal professionals anyway, so they're just using this as a second or as another credential to add to their list of credentialing. So I don't see a problem with it either.
Yeah, I think the only thing that is a little odd is attorneys using it.
That's weird. But
You know, if you're a JD, I mean, I don't see what the point is in getting the RP to be a registered paralegal unless they're waiting to take their bar exams. So, do we want to go ahead and do how many people do we have from the board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9. So let's take a straw vote. Is the IPA in favor of supporting this agenda topic? Or approving this agenda topic? Okay. Any opposition? All right. So Deandra, this agenda topic does have the approval of the IPA. So when that comes up, you can go ahead and give that up.
and that's the only agenda topic on the floor this year. So
right now, anyway.
Right now.
Liana, you might be a little bit more familiar with this. When agenda topics come out, say that there's a few of them that come out that are actually on the floor, how do we handle that with voting?
You know, I don't know if I'm the best person to answer, but just because I've not been in that circumstance before, I've not had that happen. But you know, if the board is unavailable to discuss it, then I think we would just rely on Deandra to, you know, take into consideration what she thinks is best for the IPA and what the IPA board would do. Certainly, I know in the past that something came up a couple years ago with Susan McNicholas was there and Tom, and she did try to reach out to the board, you know, and try and get some feedback and get some direction. But in the absence of that, we just have to rely on the primary.
Okay. When is the policy meetings for?
This Saturday. Maybe it'll be helpful. Maybe I should get everyone's phone number, because if something like that comes up, I would definitely want to send a group text quickly to the board if I need, you know, a vote. So maybe if I can get everyone's phone numbers, just because at least I don't want to be the one responsible for it, but if I have to, I will. But I would definitely want to reach out to the board first. Try to get a vote from the board first.
Okay. We will get those, everybody. If you can email Deandra your cell phone number, she promises not to spam you or call you at all hours of the night. She won't ask you about your warranty, but on the Saturday, which is Saturday
the 24th.
The 24th. Just note that you might get a text message from her to check your emails. And if there's something substantial that needs to be discussed, we can definitely discuss it then. But for the most part, I think in my opinion, really, I think they hashed out a lot of stuff, but you never know exactly what's going to come up on the floor when it comes time for all of that. The next item that we have on our agenda is the scholarship committee report. I have been getting emails like crazy from people who are going to be submitting their scholarships. So hopefully we will see those start coming in. Yvonne, you'll probably check the mail this weekend and get those out to us. For those of you who are on the scholarship committee, just remember that we will be, I will be submitting all of the, I have a hiccup that's not quite coming out, sorry. We will have to judge those, so be expecting an email from me. If there is anybody else who is interested in being one of the judges for the scholarship, make sure you reach out to me and we'll make sure to get you the details, and we'll have probably a quick meeting. We do want to select our scholarship award for the Fall Education Conference. So definitely have that. I did have one thing that I did want to discuss with the board. In the event that we sell out our all of our spots for the upcoming RGB exhibit, the exhibit does cost $250 for 100 people, which was graciously sponsored by US Legal. We currently have roughly about $400 in excess from our scholarship, $438.86. In the event that we do sell out the 100 spots for the RGB exhibit, not only will we take in $1,000 that were $999 for the scholarship, but if there is an opportunity to actually have more people, I wanted to request the board's permission to pay an additional fee not to exceed $250 to open up additional spots. And that would
motion
come
for that.
right, and that would come directly from the money that we have set aside for the scholarship.
Okay, so you need a
I was
motion
gonna say,
to expand the number of available slots to attend the RGB exhibit not to exceed, is it $250?
correct.
Not to exceed $250.
Second.
Can I raise a quick question?
Yes,
First?
Same thing.
I knew that was
Melissa,
coming.
you had mentioned that to use the funds would come from the scholarship, but I think that, I don't know if there's any controversy there, because the funds that from selling the pins have always been said that they'll go directly towards the scholarship. So I don't know if the event, using that money for the event, if it comes out of our standard budget, that's one thing, but if using the funds that are allocated for the scholarship is kosher.
Well,
that's a okay word.
right. We get $250 from each of, and this may be a discussion that we can probably review. There is, yeah.
Well, my question is, how many extra people can you have with the additional $250? Another 100 people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what if we get one? You know what I mean?
Well, and
So
like I said, I obviously this would be on a as needed basis. If there's 3 or 4 people, I can always talk to the museum and see if they would do a smaller amount. But it was a thought to kind of discuss it amongst the board and see what we thought. I would hate to miss out on, additional funds, because technically we would bring in $999, because obviously we give US Legal 1 spot for sponsoring. I don't know if this is something we should take up when it gets closer, maybe see if we can get another sponsor if there's availability. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
What
Is
if
there
from
a
those-
way? Is there a way of saying, so say you get to 100 sign up, then is there a way of doing like a waiting list and kind of letting people know, hey, they're on a waiting list, but we're working on securing more spots. And then we kind of revisit it at that point, whether it's a vote that we do via email or something, a quick call or something.
Thank you, Sue. I love you for suggesting that. Yeah, that can definitely be something that we can do. If we do it, it is something that we will need to have unanimous written consent. Why don't we see how many people sign up for the event? And then we'll send an email or do a quick call when we get closer, and hopefully be able to, I'm hoping to sell out and keep going. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and do that. So everybody keep your eyes open. But so far I've heard a lot of really good things that everybody's excited for the RGB exhibit. So I'm hoping that it will be very popular.
I've
And that's the
actually
only-
done it and it's actually very good.
Is it? Awesome.
Yeah, it's very informational. I actually did it before she passed away too, which kind of made it good to know all those facts.
Very cool. Yeah, the Oregon Paralegal Association did it recently and they said it was excellent too as well. All right, so we
Maybe
will readdress that.
testimonial by Sue on our website. Saying, I said maybe we could do a testimonial by Sue on our website saying that she'd highly recommend it or something like that.
Sure. Sue,
Yeah,
would you be
I
interested
can
in
write,
doing a video?
I'll send something over. A video, that means I have to shower.
I know, right? I took a shower today. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
Okay, we'll get in
One
contact
thought
with that. Yeah.
There's an additional thought I had addressing what Leanna brought up about taking the funds from, if we do get to that point and we will use the $250 could we then have something in what we sign off on saying those funds will be replenished with what we bring in as a result of selling the tickets?
Yeah.
Would that answer your concern, Leanna?
We always say that the money goes directly to the scholarship for the ticket prices and the sales of the tickets.
Got it. So that wouldn't work.
Yeah. Let's have a discussion on that a little bit later. We'll talk about that when it gets closer. Standards committee, Chris and Kathy.
Hi. Kathy, are you on the phone?
I am. I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me very well. I am on the train. I have to wear my mask.
Oh, okay. No worries.
If it's hard to hear me, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Can everyone hear us? And Yvonne, I believe everyone received our memo, correct?
Yes, everybody on the board did.
Okay. So that gives the history of the Standards Committee, one of the original IPA committees, and also history on the salary survey. I thought it would be good to put this in writing on the event that one day, if I no longer remember things, somebody will remember everything that's been done on the salary survey in the past. Last year, we did not have a very good response, 15%, which really is not statistically viable. So at the board's direction, we did not have results tabulated and said to bring this back in a year's time. So that's why we have put together our memo to the board. It is our recommendation that we conduct a salary survey, go back to our original time frame, which typically was January, February. That gives us probably the largest number of regular, which is full-time paralegals. It would be regular members of P20, and then any new members we pick up fall of 2020. So that gives us probably the largest number of paralegals, in the hopes that we would have a better response. Also, Yvonne has said that she would be able to use a product called Survey Gizmo, which would be huge help in creating and helping to tabulate and helping with graphics. If I'm misspeaking, Yvonne, just speak up.
Yeah,
So there is no cost for using Survey Gizmo, my understanding again from Yvonne. Yvonne, did you want to say something?
yeah, it's like Survey Monkey, but it's actually called Alchemy now. They just changed the name from Survey Gizmo to Alchemy. But
Oh.
one of my other clients has a pretty expensive account, and they said that we could use it for free to prepare ours. And it's nice because it'll put together pie charts and stuff for us. It's not going to be perfect, like it, you know, it's going to be far better than what we could do on our own through Club Express.
Yes, and tabulating this on our own just about drove Colette, Phyllis, and myself to drink, and we did not realize how much work was done by message factors, and in fact we had to call message factors to get guidance from them, and they very kindly helped us when we did the last salary survey. As I pointed out, a major reason why we went from doing it internally to hiring message factors is the fact that it became known to us that it was being attached as exhibit to fee petitions filed in court, and we had attorneys and in some cases judges' offices calling us about our salary survey, and we learned that it was being utilized. The board felt that we needed to have it done outside the association. So I hope I've given everyone history on the salary survey and enough information for the board to make a decision.
I would love to have another actual salary survey. I know the response has been low. So why don't we give it one more shot to go out in January of 2021. Chris and Kathy, can you have a sample of the questions that you would like to include for next month's board meeting?
Sure.
Yeah,
it would be the last one that we use, but Yvonne, if you can attach it. That survey also was shortened, the questionnaire, because one, the amount of work that had to be done, and two, it was thought that if it was not the original 36 question survey, more people would respond. So Yvonne, if you can find it and attach it for next month's meeting. Everyone take a look at it.
I'll send it to Melissa now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we haven't surveyed our members since I think it was 2015, 2016, something like that.
I feel like it was sooner than that.
Well, we were given surveys last year. We did them, but we didn't tabulate the responses because we had such a low response.
Yeah.
The last tabulation
Okay.
was 2013.
Okay. So, and the pandemic, I'm sure, has had an effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just-
Definitely. That's why I think this would be perfect timing to do our next salary survey. With everything going on, and I would hope we'll get a good response, especially at the time that we would want to send it out to our regular members with new membership coming up in the next couple months. Does anyone have any other thoughts?
No, I think it's a great
Anything
idea.
else?
Yvonne, thank you for talking with your other client. So we will go ahead and put that on for next month's agenda. And we will
Thank
discuss
you,
it
Yvonne.
further then. Okay. Moving on, we have the Board of Directors, approval of the Board of Directors minutes. Rather than going page by page, does anybody have any changes any glaring changes that need to be? What'd you say, Jen?
Front page, you don't need my name twice.
Oh. Evidently, you were so important, we needed to name you twice on there.
You were doubly absent, that's right.
That's how much your presence was missed, Jen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I on mute?
Nope, we can
You're
hear you.
unmuted.
Oh, didn't Jennifer call in for a minute to just do one of the votes?
Yes, Melissa called me.
There was one of them, but I don't think
That
it was the
was-
minute.
Yeah, but she
Wasn't the
participated in the vote,
minutes.
didn't you?
I voted.
Let's see, hang on, I gotta.
So then we should add her. Melissa, or Liana, I'm making live changes to the copy I have.
Okay. Is it? Oh, no, I got it.
Okay. Any additional changes? I will entertain a motion to why is my brain? To approve the Board of Directors minutes from September 9th, 2020 as amended.
So moved.
Now somebody's got to make the motion.
I move that the minutes are accepted for the September, what was the date? I'm sorry.
September
9th.
September 9th board meeting with the amendments and changes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? And abstentions would be Jennifer,
Me.
Sue,
Yep.
Helen, and Elma.
Whoa. Who are those? Jennifer, Alma, Sue. Did I miss anyone? Jennifer, Alma, Sue? Who else?
Helen.
Helen. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I am briefly gonna, Yvonne, do you want me to move the virtual education conference closer to the end?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to business with the virtual fall education conference. Yvonne?
Well, I kind of already reported on it during my executive director's report, sorry. I don't think I really have too much to say, more to say other than really we really are going to need help getting or facilitating the sessions, and obviously we need to push out and get people registered. Yeah, that's about it. Am I missing anything, Melissa?
I have a couple of other things on my list, but we'll go ahead and tackle that in just a second. I actually worked with a good chunk of the speakers and had them record little videos to introduce their sessions. There's going to be one that is going to be on all of our social media every day. So I've got them scheduled. I think I've got 7 of them right now, and I'm hoping to get a few more speakers to get me a quick.
You froze.
Sorry about that, guys. My Zoom just decided to stop. I apologize. So definitely share those and get the word out there. I think it's a great way for us to get those videos out and kind of introduce the speakers and stuff. So we're very excited. One thing that I did want to ask for board approval is a coupon code that we can use to advertise the IPA conference through NFPA and also through other associations. Sharon and Yvonne had suggested reducing the price to $125 as opposed to the $149 for that to be shared on the NFPA's events information, and also with the group of presidents that I meet with every quarter. Does the board have any objection to Yvonne creating a coupon code for that? Price sound good for everybody? All right. And then one other thing, I talked with Sharon about this, and she said it might not be a bad idea to offer a student code as well. One thing with the students, I don't want that code out there to them. So if we do it, we could ask the schools to have the students send an email from their EDU email addresses, which shows that they are actually a student, because you do have to be a student to get your EDU address. And I would be willing to field those emails that come in. We don't usually get a lot of students that come in, but Sharon and I had kind of talked about a price point of maybe a $25 reduction in the member price. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
$25. My thought is the student members, and this is up to you guys, but keep in mind, student members already pay a lot less than regular members. Of course, student members are working in the paralegal field. And the full conference has never been discounted for students before. I get calls all the time where they ask, is there a student price? The only thing you guys have done in the past was offer 2 sessions at a discount, but this is 20 sessions at a discount. So that's just, think about that before, because you remember, how you've done it before where if they could go to ethics and lunch for a discount, but this is offering them all 20 sessions, access to all 20 CLEs. Of course, will they even be interested? Because they're going to be probably over their head. A lot of it is going to be over their head.
Well, not necessarily. If they're looking, when I was a student, I always liked going to those sessions just to kind of see what was involved in, being a paralegal, and kind of hear what's involved. If they're interested in intellectual property, what does that look like? I'm sure none of them even thought that there was an issue with building a character for a car, and that being deemed a character. it could be an opportunity for them to kind of explore different areas of law that they might be thinking about going into. CLE credits for students aren't necessarily as important as they are for working paralegals, but as a way for them to explore different areas, I think it might be a neat opportunity for them. And like I said, I don't want this coupon code getting out anywhere on the internet. They would have to email us directly proving that they are a student. And we usually don't get a lot of response. $75, I mean, in reality, is still a pretty good chunk of change for a student who's going to school and is not working as a paralegal. Any thoughts?
I think it's great to include students because those are going to be our members of the future. So I'm in for that.
Yeah. And like I said, this isn't something I want out there for everybody. I can work with Molly to talk to the educators and say, something, hey, I can have the coupon code ready and specifically email it directly to the students who inquire about it. And then maybe we can work on something in the future for something else. Because I know Yvonne's going to be very busy. I know she's not going to want to field any emails like this. All right. So if the board does not have an objection to offering it to students for $75, we can go ahead and get that coupon code as well. So there'll be 2 different coupon codes. Yep.
That's students who are members of IPA or even non-member students?
How many students we have that are even members?
We have, last year we had what, 80? It's on the printout.
102 last year.
102. Wow, that was pretty good.
And in 2020, we had 102, and we have 14 new ones for 2021. It's a benefit of membership to be able to go to the conference at a less price. So maybe it's just $25 off whether you're a member or a non-member, so $25 off the consecutive prices. Maybe that'll get them to join the IPA.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, then
yeah.
they,
You're a member, $50 for the sessions, and if you're not, $75.
okay. Yeah, I kind of like that.
50 for?
No. Well,
They've already paid, if they've already paid their dues.
if they're already a member, 75, and then, so basically a $25 discount off member and non-member pricing for students.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Cool. That is a good way to drum up some student, hopefully some student memberships for next year. The next thing on our agenda is a sad bit of news. For those of you who do not know, Sue Vanderwalker, who has been a member of the board and just an amazing presence among us, had sent in her resignation. Not for any reason of any conflict or anything like that, but she has found it to be a bit daunting with caring for her mother. And she has decided to pursue her career as a professional proofreader, which allows her the flexibility to be able to spend more time with her mom. So we are definitely going to be missing her. We did put out a call for individuals who are interested in joining the board. I have spoken with them and given them the information that is required for being a board member. So we will discuss that further at next month's board meeting for the individuals that have expressed interest and who are eligible to join the board. The requirements is to attend 3 board meetings, also to be a regular member. Basically you need to be at the board meetings, be present, not president, present, and really pay attention to what's going on as we represent our members. So we want to make sure that whoever we appoint to the board is going to continue with that tradition. So we will miss Sue, but we will definitely be looking forward to welcoming somebody new to that open position soon. The next thing on the agenda, which is everybody's favorite topic, I was kind of inspired by the NFPA's revision of the bylaws. And I don't think that our bylaws are really in that bad of shape, although I do think that a look at our standard operating procedures, I was just kind of looking through this in light of COVID, may deserve a bit of an update. I know that the last time that they were updated was in 2019, 2018, I believe. So I think it's time to kind of look through these. I've attached a copy of these, and they're also on the message board. So if anybody is interested in reviewing this with a group, I'd like to get these revised and ready by January 1st, just to kind of go through and look through these. So if you are interested, make sure you send an email to me at president@ipaonline.org, and we'll get that committee together to review the SOPs. I totally forgot to do the Palmer House cancellation, and it's because I put too many notes next to the virtual education conference on my agenda. We did discuss canceling our contract with the Palmer House. Obviously, we are still in the midst of COVID. There is absolutely no way to hold our conference in person in general. There's also been some additional information that the Palmer House is going into bankruptcy. There were some articles that we included in the minutes a while back ago. Yvonne, did you get a chance to contact the Palmer House about the cancellation?
Yeah, we put in the cancellation. They said it could take up to 180 days to get it back, but that it has been taking less.
Okay. So that is good news. So keep us updated, and when it comes in, and hopefully that will be back soon. We can go ahead and move on to new business. Before we go into executive session, is there anything that anybody would like to add and bring up under new business?
Melissa,
Yes. Yeah, Chris.
with Sue no longer being on the board, is she still going to be involved with IPA?
She didn't necessarily say that she would be. I think because she is making a transition to a new career path, I don't know necessarily that she'll be involved, but she did promise to do some pro bono proofreading for me on an occasional basis if I needed her for the IPA.
Did a great job on the newsletter.
Yes, she did.
So I didn't know if she was just leaving the board or leaving everything. Not us, of course, but just not going to be involved.
Yeah, I think she's going to focus on her proofreading career.
Okay.
So That was one thing that she did say. So I am going to go ahead and bring the board into executive session shortly. We will be canceling the live stream in just a moment. For those of you who are not board members, I will need you to drop off the call. And I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming to the board meeting tonight. And we will hopefully see everybody at the Fall Education Conference. So make sure that you go ahead and register. So non-board members, we will see you next time.
All right. Have a good